Okay, everybody, today is Tuesday, February the 1st, and this is Algebra 2, and this is the last day. We have to do this tomorrow. We will be back face to face. So make sure you come tomorrow face to face because tomorrow we start back face to face. So let's go over last night's homework, and then we will pick up with today's lesson. So number one asks you to factor, and we've only you've learned how to factor before in Algebra 1, but you may be a little rusty. So the first thing you always do when you're factoring is see if you can divide anything out of each term. So somebody unmute yourself and tell me how many terms you have here. That's the first thing we got to do is determine how many terms do we have. Well, yes, 1, 2, 3, right? But we're going to ignore the zero for right now because we're going to use that to solve. But everybody see your terms are your little parts. So very good. So you have an x squared and a negative 8x. You look at each term and the zero and see if you can divide anything out. You know, anything can divide out of zero, so you don't have to really look at the zero. But what can be divided out of x squared and negative 8x squared? You look at the numbers and you look at the letters. What can be divided out from both those terms? X. So whatever you're dividing out goes on the outside. And you divide it out. X squared divided by x leaves you with an x. And then the way you can check yourself is just multiply. X times x is x squared. Check. Then negative 8x divided by x leaves you with a negative 8. Check it. X times negative 8 gives you negative 8x equals 0. Can we break anything else apart? There's nothing else we can break apart. So we take the two parts that we have and we set them equal to 0. This one's done for us. So x equals 0. That's one of our answers. And then now we have to solve this one. X minus 8 equals 0. Add 8 to both sides. So x equals 8. So what are my two answers? I'm going to put it in a little set. If you can't make that little curvy thing, just make a backwards 3 and a forward 3. It'll look the same way. Our answers are 0 and 8. Remember I said, if you have a squared, usually you're going to have two answers. Sometimes you'll have one, but we'll talk about when. But you can, at most, you can have two answers. So our answers are 0 and 8. You can plug this back in to see if it works. Let's see. 0 squared minus 8 times 0 equals 0. Yes. 8 squared, which is 64, minus 8 times 8, which is 64. 64 minus 64 equals 0. Check. So they both work. Your answers are 0 and 8. Please unmute yourself and ask me a question if you have a question about number 1. So when you are factoring, the first thing you look is you look at your terms and see if you can divide something out. A lot of times people skip that step because I'm going to teach you how to factor even more. But the first thing you do is see if you can divide something out. Okay. Also last night for homework. So next you had graphing. Now everybody take out your graphing calculators because we can't practice this enough. And we're going to look at some how these look because we're going to have to graph them by hand also. All right. So I have me some graphing paper here. Some of y'all might have did it on your piece of paper, but I told you guys to use your calculator last night. So let's take our calculator out and let's look at number 21. All right. So we're going to go to y equals. If there was something there, you need to clear it out. And 21 says x squared minus 1. And we're going to graph it. Now, we already determined that anytime you have an x squared, and that is your highest exponent, it's going to be a parabola. Everybody to yourself or out loud say parabola. A parabola is a U. This U is going up. Why is this U going up? I need y'all to make sure y'all pay attention to this because the x squared is positive. If the x squared is positive, it's going to go up. You see the x squared is positive. If the x squared was negative, it would go down. But all I wanted you to do was graph him on your graphing calculator and then put it on here. Can somebody tell me if you're graphing this on your graphing calculator and I tell you to put it on a graph by hand, tell me where what points do you know would be important? Because you really only need 3 points to graph. But which ones would be most important for you to pick out to graph? Looking at this graph, where do you think, which points do you think you need to have?
-1.
Why? Tell me why you chose that -1 on the y-axis as being important.
Because that's where the line goes through.
Okay, so that's called your vertex. Everybody say that to yourself or say it out loud, vertex. So when it changes direction, y'all see it's going down and it changes direction right there, starts going back up. If it was going down and it changed direction, that's called your vertex. So you always need to graph your vertex. So was that Aaron talking? I think it was. Aaron, what is your vertex point? Tell me where to put it on my graph. It's what?
-1. No, 0, -1.
0, -1. If you don't know your points, guys, go second graph, which is your table, and look at there. So if you knew it was at -1 for the y, you can get you some points. Now we just need a couple of other points on each side of each other so we can connect the dots. Somebody give me a couple more points that you did. And we kind of want them even on each side. So can somebody give me another point that you want to do off of your chart so we can connect the dots? Just give me a point from the chart. Somebody unmute yourself, say something.
-1, 0.
All right, let's, well, we already did. Oh, -1, 0. Okay, who was that was talking? I'm sorry. Boris, give me one that's a little further up because I just want to connect the dots better. So give me one that's a little further up. So give me one that's a little further out. So just go a little further out. Instead of -1 because it's going to be so close. Just give me one that's out here.
-5, 24.
-5. Ooh, that's too much now. You know I don't have a 24 on my graph. Give me something else.
-2, 3.
-2, 3. Okay, so that's like -2 and 1, 2, 3. Everybody see that? Now, who would be his match? Somebody else. Very good, Boris. -2, 3. Can somebody give me the symmetry, the other side of him so I can connect? +2, 3. Very good. That's the way parabolas are always going to be. Wherever you see your center, and the center is not going to always be the y-axis. It might be another line, but it's always going to be even. Once you find your vertex, your points are going to be even on the other side. And then we just connect the dots. That is x squared minus 1. And as we see, he looks the same way, right? So let's look at number 22. And guys, you got to be able to take the graph from the calculator and make it look where I have specific points. I'm not looking at artistry. I'm looking at, can I see the vertex? Can I see 2 symmetrical points? I'm looking for just important points. Okay, so let's do 22. All right, everybody go back to your y equals and clear out number 21. And let's do 22. 22 is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. Before you graph it, you can enter it in, but don't graph it yet. X squared minus 4x plus 4. Now, before we even graph it, I've already told you a clue of where you'll know if it's going to be, what shape it's going to be, and what direction it's going to be. Somebody that has not talked yet, what shape is this going to be when we graph it? If you can't remember the word, just give me something.
A parabola.
A parabola. Who said that?
Evan.
Evan, very good, baby. A parabola. Now, tell me somebody else is the parabola, which is a U. The common name is a U, but it's officially called a parabola. This is a parabola. Evan knew this was a parabola because x squared is our highest exponent. If it was just an x, if x squared wasn't there, it would be a line, right? But since we have x squared, it's a parabola. Now, somebody else that hasn't talked, is this parabola, just by looking at this equation, going to go up or is he going to go down?
It's going to go up.
Why, Abby, is he going to go up?
Because the 2 is, for the exponent, it's positive.
Okay, so I'm glad I got you to say that. You don't look at the exponent, you look at the number in front. So now tell me again, why is the parabola going to go up?
Because the x is a positive.
Because the x squared is positive. Everybody see? What's the number in front of x squared? Positive 1. And whatever number is in front of x squared, if it's positive, the parabola is going to go up. If it was negative, the parabola would go down. So without us even graphing, we know that this is a u going up. We already know that. It's a u going up. It's a u because of the x squared, and it's going up because the x squared is positive. The number in front of the x squared is positive. Is everybody okay? Okay, so now let's graph it. Hit graph. Now, Aaron already told us that the most important point is the vertex. It's that point where the direction change. You know, it's going down, then it starts going up. So it's that point right there in the middle of the U, the bottom of the U, or if it was going upside down, the top of the U. Now, can somebody tell me what point I need to graph for my vertex? Somebody that hasn't talked yet. Tell me what my vertex is. And you can go to your table if you need to see it. Now, let me show y'all something else on the calculator. Is everybody ready? Look at your graph. If you can't tell, let's say it's a decimal or something, like you can't tell where it is, press trace. Now, when you press trace, does everybody see there's like a cursor and it's blinking on your graph? You just press the side button, the arrow to the side right here, and it'll trace down and it'll give you your point. Everybody see that? Now it's getting close. So you know it's somewhere around where x is 2. So go to your table. Somebody tell me, where is our vertex, you think?
F4.
What'd you say, baby? What's the x and the y?
0, 4, 0.
All right, but look at your chart. 4, 0 is not on our graph. Go to your table.
0 and 4.
0, 4. Now, 0, 4. Go back to your table, your graph. Is 0, 4 your vertex? Vertex is here. 0, 4 is here. So who was that talking? Jabez? I'm sorry. Who was that?
You know, Jabez.
Okay, Jabez.
I'm sorry,
I want the vertex. Okay, I want the vertex, which is right there. What's your vertex?
2, 0.
2, 0. Very good. 2, 0. There's my vertex. Is everybody okay? That's what that point is right there, 2, 0. Now I need 2 points on either side so we can connect the dots. Somebody else that hasn't talked, give me 2 points on either side. And of course, you can go to your table, and I want 2 points that are kind of even with each other. So we can do 0, 4. Who is the match on the other side for 0, 4? Can somebody tell me that? What's my match for 0, 4 on the other side of the U?
4, 4.
4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And as we see, we have 2 matching points or symmetrical points on either side of the line of symmetry. That's called a line of symmetry because it cuts the U in half. And we have our vertex. That's what you want. You want 2 symmetrical points on either side of the line of symmetry, and the line of symmetry always goes through the vertex. We're going to write all this down. I like introducing you to the graph first so you can get a visual before we start taking notes on it. Because you've learned quite a bit already before we even started taking notes. Okay. Now let's look at 23. 23 says, let me double check, y'all guys, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nasim, Joe and Tyreek, Amani and Jemiah, Dwayne Nesbitt has a doctor's appointment. Okay. Zanara. Gregory Durrell Tracy. Okay. All right. So let's look at 23. 23 says y equals. Now, this is a little bit different a setup. X minus 2 squared plus 4. Now, can somebody unmute yourself and tell me what kind of shape is this equation going to be? Before we even put it in, what kind of shape is this going to be? Remember that squared is on the outside, so that means this times itself, right? What kind of shape is this going to be when we graph it?
Parabola.
It's still going to be a parabola because when you do x minus 2 times x minus 2, you would get an x squared. So it's still a parabola. Can somebody tell me, is it going to go up or down?
Down.
You look on the outside here.
Go up.
Up. Very good, because the x squared is going to be positive. That -2 is negative, but that's not what we look at. We look at the x squared, and it's positive. So this is still going to be another parabola going up. I got to give y'all somewhere going down, but we will. We're going to do some examples today. Okay, so let's enter him in to our calculator. So parentheses, x minus 2, parentheses squared, plus 4. Okay, make sure you enter them in correctly. All right, so now let's graph him. And just like we said, it is a parabola going up. We need the vertex. I need somebody to give me the vertex, which is right there. Give me where the vertex is. We always need the vertex when we're graphing. Unmute yourself and tell me where the vertex is.
2 and 4.
2, 4. Because he went to the, because you know it's like 2 over. You can see that. But if you can't tell, you just go to your table and you know it's like 2 over, and there it is, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I need 2 more points that are symmetrical. This is my line of symmetry. Wherever the vertex is, that line is your line of symmetry. That means all the other points are going to be on the other side of these. I need 2 matching points that are symmetrical on the other side so I can draw my U. Can somebody give me one that they want to use? Don't go too far off my table, though. I mean, off my graph. I have 7 or 8 slots, so give me a point. Give me 1 point on one side of the vertex.
0, 8.
0, 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna put them up here. Okay. Now I need the match because this is my line of symmetry. I need the point that matches him on the other side. Somebody give me that.
4, 8.
4, 8. Because it's going to go the same way up, right? 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 8. Very good. We're going to connect the dots. And there is our graph or parabola. Remember, you always need the vertex and 2 matching symmetrical points on either side of the line of symmetry. Okay, that was our graphing, 21, 22, and 23. Now, let's go to our other problems, which was 55 through 58. And with those, we had, from yesterday, we talked about functions. And functions just mean your y. These are just 2 different equations, and it tells you what to do with them. Somebody that hasn't talked, unmute yourself and tell me what you're going to do with f of x plus g of x. What is that telling you to do? Just simply tell me what those letters are telling you to do. What does this mean? Nobody?
You mean you're gonna add?
Add what? What are you going to add?
Add the functions together.
The functions together. So they told you in the directions what f of x is. And they told you in the directions what g of x is. You're just going to add them together. So, Janaya, tell me what I'm going to write for f of x. We're number 55. So what does it say f of x is?
5x plus 3.
And then that's my g f of x. And then it says plus. Now tell me what my g of x is.
Plus 2x.
Plus 2x. Everybody see that? So now all you do is combine like terms, do as much as you can. So 5x plus 2x is 7x plus 3. Your answer for 55 should have been 7x plus 3. That's f of x plus g of x. Now 56, I need somebody else that hasn't talked. This says f of x minus g of x. Tell me what I'm going to write. You got to participate, y'all, because once I teach this stuff, I'm done teaching it. Go ahead, Michaela.
5x plus 3 minus 2x.
5x plus 3, which is my f of x, minus, now I'm going to put that in parentheses. It doesn't really matter this time, but anytime you have a minus, you want to put what's behind it in parentheses in case you have to distribute it. This one, you really don't because it's one term. But let's say that was 2x plus 1, you would have to distribute it. Okay, so let's put it together. We have 5x plus 3 minus 2x. Combine like terms. And your answer should have been 3x plus 3. Any questions on 55 or 56? Okay. Somebody else, talk to me, please, about 57. Tell me what it tells us to do for 57.
Multiply.
We're going to multiply. Tell me just what to write. What am I going to multiply? What times what?
5x plus 3 times 2x.
Very good. Very good. Now, that means multiply everybody times everybody, right? So 5x times the 2x gives me a 10. 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. Make sure y'all remember that. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And with your x. Can we put these two together?
No.
No. So your answer is 10x squared plus 6x. When you multiply those together. Very good. Anybody have a question? Now, somebody else, talk to me about 58. What is 58 telling you to do with the functions?
You're dividing.
You are dividing. Very good, Kayla. So tell me what to write.
5x plus 3 over 2x.
Very good. Now, is there anything? Now you have to look at terms. So guys, anytime you have a plus or a minus, you have to look at terms. Can somebody else tell me how many terms do I have in this right here? How many terms?
3.
3. You have a 5x, a 3, and a 2x. So when you reduce means simplify. If you want to divide everybody by something, you have to be able to do it to the 5x, the 3, and the 2x. So let's look at those terms. Is there any number that goes into 5, 3, and 2 evenly? Is there any number that can divide into 5 and 3 and 2 evenly? Yes or no? No. So that's your answer because you can't reduce it. Because if you reduce, it has to be able to reduce in all the terms, and there's nothing that you can divide out. So our answer is 5x plus 3 all over 2x. Any questions? Okay. Our last one kind of went up to the Algebra 2 level. This is what you really, really need to know how to do. Somebody, can you try? I'll help you read this. Read it. Tell me what the words would be to these letters. I'm gonna get you started.
Function of
So F of
G
of
X.
very good. F of G of X. That's how you'd read that. Now, somebody else, tell me what this means. Like, what is it telling you to do? Like, which function are you using and which function are you plugging in? Tell me what it means, because that's the directions. What is it telling you to do? Anybody? Even if you talked already.
To plug in it's gonna be like the function of F.
And what are you going to do with F?
Plug in the equation.
Which equation?
The one for 5x. Wait, yeah, 5x plus 3.
Okay, you have 5x plus 3. What are you going to plug it in? What are you going to plug into for the x in 5x plus 3?
For the wait, you said we're gonna plug.
Yes, because this is telling you to plug something in. What is it telling you to plug into the 5x plus 3?
G.
G. So it's saying take the equation of G and plug it into F. That's what it means. Plug in G of X for the X in F. Y'all write that down because that's what that means. It means take G of X and plug it into F. Work your way inside out. Take your G of X and plug it into F. So like Davon said, he said, take your F of X. So F of G of X. The equation you're going to use is the F. 5x plus, what was it, 5x plus 3?
Yeah.
But you're going to take the X out, and what are you going to put in place of the X?
G.
G. And what is G?
2.
2x, right? 2x. Y'all see? You took your F and plugged G in. You took your F, which is 5x. Your F is 5x plus 3. Your G of X is 2x. You took your G of X and plugged it into your F of X. Now we're going to solve. 5 times 2x is 10x plus 3. Can we combine anything together? Any like terms? Anything? Nope. So that is the answer for 59. Okay. Now, I feel like we need more practice with that. So what I am going to do is give you some function practice for you to do now and then for you to bring in tomorrow. Are you going to submit any homework to me today? Anybody? No. Well, I see you tomorrow. And I don't want to have to keep grading on the computer. I hate that. So bring it in tomorrow. I'm gonna collect homework just like we usually do, where y'all just pile it on my desk, okay? So make sure I'm going to post the homework, copy the problems in your notebook, do the problems, and then tomorrow I'll check it, okay? So I've changed my lesson. So whatever I posted earlier, because I've changed my mind. I feel like y'all need a little bit more practice with this because this is very important, especially for pre-cal, because it gets kind of complicated. So I want to make sure you guys understand what this stuff means when you see it and then are able to do it. So right now, give me about a minute. It won't 2 minutes. And I'm going to change your homework. Okay, so right now, you know what? I'm going to keep you on here. That way you guys will know when I'm ready. And you don't get confused. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the live stream. And I'm getting ready to post the homework, but y'all stay on here and then I'll tell you when you can go do your homework.